Hello, my name is Ishan Chauhan, and I'm here with Akash and Akshay Patel, Yadu Krishna Jitesh, and Ishan Bansal. To contextualize the post-war world in the 20th century, modernization detached people from religion. For example, churches were seen as less important, and the power was decreasing exponentially along with the scientific developments that are challenging the subject as well. Through new ideas in science and philosophy, religion was challenged, but in some cases there was religious renewal. Even today, religion does not have as much value as it once did, but many still renew and believe in it. For Protestantism and Catholicism, both had conflicts between the 1960s and the 1980s, such as the Troubles in Ireland. In this, Protestants discriminated against the Catholics in Northern Ireland, which led to mass violence in the IRA split. The 1998 Good Friday Agreement eased tension between these two religious groups. Mussolini, totalitarianism took a fascist authoritarian route in Italy. He needed to work with the Catholic Church to become more powerful, so he made the Catholic Church the only religion, stating it as independence. In turn, the Church supported his rule and brought many followers. Under Hitler during World War II, Dietrich Bonhoeffer and Martin Niemöller, both Protestant clergymen, spoke out against Hitler's remarks on being anti-Christian and anti-Semitic views. They both were severely punished for this, as well as the fact that they objected to state interference with the Church.
Under the USSR, communism was practiced. Communism was an atheistic ideology, so Lenin, Stalin, and Khrushchev, the leaders of the Communist Party in the Soviet Union, often attacked, harmed, and persecuted members of the Orthodox Church. The Church's power waned. Regardless of this, after the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991, the Church thrived. Under Poland, a similar story can be told. The church there was also persecuted by the government until a compromise was reached in 1956, where both the church and government decided to stay out of each other's affairs. The church would not intervene in politics, but the government would lessen its restriction of the church a little bit. The church's participation in the Solidarity movement in the 1970s and 1980s by Pope John Paul II also led to the downfall of communism in Poland. This shows how much of the influence the church had on not just religion, but also politics. The Second Vatican Council. The Second Vatican Council was held by Pope John XXIII in 1962 to 1965 when it was held by Pope Paul VI. Its purpose was to make the church more adaptable and responsive to these new modern and more secular European people. It emphasized the Bible. It encouraged vernacular languages instead of Latin for church works, and lay people were educated. The liturgy was made more accessible, increasing the church's influence.
Quote, "The church's teaching is a treasure of incalculable worth, not indeed coveted by all, but available to all men of goodwill. And our duty is not just to guard this treasure as though it were some museum piece and we the curators, but earnestly and fearlessly to dedicate ourselves to the work that needs to be done in this modern age of ours, pursuing the path which the church has followed for almost 20 centuries, end quote." This was done by Pope John XXIII of the Second Vatican Council. The context behind this quote is the opening of the Second Vatican Council in the 1960s. This calling was done in order to adapt the church to the changes of the modern world, which was more secular than before. The intended audience of John XXIII's speech to the members of the church included the Catholic clergy and bishops who have been dutifully serving the church for many years. The purpose of this is to remind them that the church is not a representation, but instead directly carries religion in their works. The Pope wanted to remind them that they should do their job and make their works available to all, as from his point of view, the modern world is in need of religion.
Christianity had a significant impact because for many years religion has been devalued and the world has been more secular due to the new innovations in science and reason. This religious renewal, as seen in the Second Vatican Council and the thriving of religious institutions during authoritarianism, created a break in this trend. There was a religious revival over most of Europe, with churches gaining more influence after the wars. Now religion still exists as a major part of European culture, even though in some areas like France there are more secular beliefs.
During the previous era, many began shifting their trust from religion to reason and science. Ideas became more secular, people started asking questions, exploring the natural world, and relying less on traditional religious explanations. But religion didn't just disappear. Even under harsh regimes like those of Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin, who actively did try to suppress it, faith still endured. The Catholic Church responded through the Second Vatican Council, making big changes to better connect with modern society, like using the vernacular language instead of Latin. These changes helped spark a religious revival across all of Europe, which represents more of a change than a continuity. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope that you learned something from it.